recording. Hey everyone, this is episode 509, and it is the final OotiniCast. That does work. And this is the 18th of March, episode 509. This is the raw version of the show, going out with all flubs and flaws intact, and then we will clean up the audio, put that out as a podcast. And and the raw version of the show is being done on twitch.tv/OotiniCast, but it will go up on our YouTube channel at the end here. And let me go ahead and just post this. Let's let people know that we're up. Okay. I'm just going to do it on Blue Sky, I guess. All right. And yeah, I think we're about ready to get going here. Okay. Let's see. So, and let me go ahead and close this up.
Mine Trap tomorrow. Oh, there it is. Oh, wait, no, that's not right. 12 days.
Oh,
I just want to repost.
Oh, okay.
When you post.
Oh, I just did it on my personal one, by the way. I didn't put it on the OotiniCast.
Oh, you didn't do it on Brandon? Okay, so it's on Brandon.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay.
The other one's a little harder to get to, so. All right. Boop. We are working on it, though.
Hey, I just put the link on my Discord, so maybe I can convince some of my therapy-type, geek therapy followers that have joined me but never knew me as Dr. Swotor to be a part of tonight.
Yep, that's right. The original Dr. Swotor.
Yeah.
So yeah, as the people who are joining us can see, we have a guest, and it's Dr. Swotor, previous co-host of the OotiniCast. And now, of course, Dr. Gameology.
I haven't gone by the name Dr. Swotor in a long time.
I haven't heard that name in
a long time.
That's a name I've not heard.
Well, of course I know him. He's me. Yes. Well, we can do we can do this Star Wars references all day long, of course. In fact, I'll basically be doing the 509th reference here as the opener, as I always do.
Chill, you had a chance to cut this 8 episodes ago at the 501st episode. What are you doing?
That would have been awesome, actually. Yeah. To end with like a Mandalorian quote and call it a day.
You could have marched into the Jedi Temple and killed all the younglings and said, "It's done."
That's funny. Yeah, you do. Marcus is right, Doc. You sound a little fuzzy or something. It's like maybe it's pegging a little
fuzzy.
Bit. Yeah, maybe it's a.
You know what? Maybe. I have an idea.
Okay. Like Kitty had to change his Discord volume, which for some reason had gone way up.
It sounds like not the microphone
that's possible
too.
It's using my headset.
Okay, yeah, which is obviously
okay. So can you hear me now?
Try it again.
Did that get better?
Sounds about the same.
Master, chill. There's too many of them. What are we going to do?
I can't hear you.
Okay. Can't hear us at all, or did the volume go away for you, Doc? Test.
Boomer moment.
Okay. Did that fix?
Hey,
beautiful.
Yeah, you sound a lot better now. Actually, Kitty, you're still pigging when you talk loud. So if you turn it down just a hair more, it might help. But
Discord is such a high maintenance romantic partner. Always changing devices.
Yeah.
It's like I use the same microphone to talk and the same headset to listen every time. What's your deal?
Yes, absolutely.
Doesn't like to play nice with the other stuff.
For me, it's Zoom. No. Like anytime Zoom comes up, it loves to like control my mic volume and.
Yeah.
It's gotten a little better recently. Like the last time or two that I've used Zoom, it hasn't completely changed my settings, but usually it does. All right. So we've got a pretty good crowd here tonight. We appreciate everyone swinging by. So yeah, I think we're about ready to get going. Is that right?
Correctamundo.
All right. Let me go ahead and... Watch me do the coughing thing like on the very last one, right?
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, it's just Doc. This is probably 20 episodes ago now, but I usually have some water right before I start the show, and I managed to just completely inhale it, and I was just coughing and spluttering for the first minute or two of the show, I'll sound all croaky and stuff because I was like, anyway.
It was funny.
All right, let me have one more, and then we'll go.
After that, I have to be quiet whenever Jill drinks so he doesn't gag.
All right, going in 5. Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast. Strong are we with the Force, but not that strong. This is episode 509, and the final episode being recorded on Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. I'm your host, Chill, and with me is my co-host, KittyKissz. Hey, Kitty.
Hey, Jill.
And we have a guest today, and it's former co-host, Dr Gameology, also formerly Yay! Dr Swotor, Daniel Kaufmann. How you doing, Dr Gameology?
You underestimate my power. I'm doing great, Chill. Thanks for having me tonight. I'm super excited and honored that you thought to bring me in for this. It's such a big moment for you and Kitty and the community. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's mixed emotions, of course, and this is probably actually as good a time as any to sort of roll into the elephant in the room, which is to talk about why this is the last show and what our plans are and stuff like that. So first of all, this is not going to affect KittyKissz's stream at all, one way or the other. He's still going to continue his same schedule and stuff like that. I'm going to keep streaming for a couple of weeks. I'm going to keep the same schedule. Then I'm on a 5-week vacation, which I'll talk about in a sec. And after that, I will change the schedule, but I'm still not sure exactly what schedule I'm going to go to. So I'm not going to actually say what it is because I don't know what it is yet. And so actually the vacation is actually part of the whole timing of this because basically, we're going to have to, I'd have to pick up after 5 weeks and get things going again. And this is ultimately my decision. And I just, I did not want to pick up the ball again, essentially. It was like, there's been a lot going on in my personal life, some of which I probably shouldn't talk about and won't talk about. But we do have the vacation, which I can talk about. And it's just time. I've really enjoyed doing the OotiniCast, of course, and I still enjoy playing SWTOR. SWTOR will certainly be one of the games I stream on an ongoing basis. I will probably, mix it up some more because, I've done nothing but SWTOR for over a year now, and I haven't played anything else online, or at least on stream. And so I have a vacation coming up, and like I say, it's going to be a 5-week vacation. It's crazy long. We're going to Australia and New Zealand, and we're actually going to see Tio. So I get to meet with Tio for the 3rd time. The first 2 times were in the States. There was a Star Wars Celebration in Orlando, and then we also met up at Vegas, almost for one of the cantinas. We always have to bring this up, but it was the one where we had already set everything up, and then they changed the weekend. It was going to be and then it ended up being next weekend, and we actually couldn't switch it because people were coming from Australia and stuff. And in fact, I think that is the feedback they got on that is how they changed how they actually announce cantinas and other sort of live events. They're very much more careful to wait until they're 100% sure that it's not going to change. But anyway,
policy. Yeah,
exactly. So I'll get to see Tio. He's still in Brisbane. And if you've seen the news, there was a huge, we would call it hurricane. It's called a typhoon there. They had a typhoon go through Brisbane
holy crap.
Less than 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And fortunately, Tio's fine. Tio's family is fine. All that's good. They actually did have a big tree go down in their backyard. But fortunately, it did knock down like a fence, but it did not go in the right direction to hurt their house or anything like that. So
thank God.
Kitty's good. Sorry, Tio's good. Yeah, Kitty. Tio's fine. I'll get to meet him here in a few weeks. And then when I come back, I will still stream, but I'm going to stream other games probably as well as SWTOR. And then, like I say, I'm going to change the schedule. I think one of the things that I want to change is that I usually stream on like a daily basis, which is good for consistency, and there's a lot to be said for it. But in some ways, when it's 7 days a week, it starts to make everything sort of roll into each other, and it kind of makes it hard to sort of like feel like I can sort of get a hold on anything else. So anyway, that is the idea. And let's see, was there anything else? Oh, yes. Deck and Fee are still going to be leading the guilds. The OotiniCast guilds are still going to be there. They're still going to keep going, do the Jar Jar Joy raids and all that sort of things. Yay! And so that's going to still be a thing as well. And what was the other thing? OotiniCast.com is going to be kept open. We're going to try to keep it up, just because it has a lot of stuff that people might want to check on potentially. We're going to keep it going for at least for a couple of years. And after that, and I say we, and in this case, it actually means Tio, because even though Tio hasn't co-hosted for a long time, he sort of stayed on behind the scenes. And I've mentioned this on the show before, but for many of you, this might be a surprise. Tio's actually sort of still with us behind the scenes, just doing technical stuff. So he helps make sure that the episode goes up properly each week. As far as the podcast goes, I edit it, but then he puts it up. He also updates OotiniCast.com with other things when it needs to be updated. And, when there's a bugaboo with the emails or anything like that, he's there, and he's been there. But he never wanted to come back on, and that's totally cool. So OotiniCast.com is going to stay up for at least a couple years, and after that, who knows? It is the internet, so at some point it probably will go dark, but not for a while. So if there's something you want to check out, I still love the Aurebesh trainer that Tio put up. So if you ever wanted to read the signs in SWTOR, there's an Aurebesh trainer that will help let you know, like, okay, so this is that. And it's just English, but it's like a 1-to-1 cipher essentially, and it'll let you know. You can actually practice if you want to practice, or you can just use a little guide to sort of read the signs in SWTOR. A lot of them are very funny, actually, or at least or surprising or interesting or all that. So definitely check that out. And but there's the old episodes and so on. The YouTube similarly will be kept open, and we have no plans to close that. So unless YouTube gives us some reason that we have to close it, we probably never would. So at least those episodes should stay up, more or less in perpetuity. And at the end of this episode, I will have a little list of some of the fun episodes that are actually still on YouTube that you can check out if you like. Is there anything else that we should address, Kitty? Does that seem right?
I think you got it all.
Okay. All right.
You got it all.
So I think we will sort of roll into the show. So first of all, let's do a proper introduction and welcome to Dr. Gameology, our guest. Hey, Dr. Gameology, how you doing?
Hello.
I'm so happy that I was actually available to do this, because one of my very dedicated OG community members sent me a message at the beginning of the week or in the middle of last week that said, "Hey, final episode of OotiniCast is Tuesday. You should stream SWTOR after you finish Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because I don't remember what you said you were going to stream after that. And I think it would be, a cool thing for you to get back into and just see where the story's gone since the last time you played." Which I'm inclined to agree with that, except it took me 5 hours to kill Sephiroth on dynamic difficulty on Sunday. So, sometimes you have a great plan for what you're going to do as a streamer, and then your whole desire to win things on high difficulties and never give up and show people what resilience is all about makes it so you can't play the fun casual thing that was waiting in the batter's box. So I do plan to actually do that. It's been on my mind off and on for a long time. And my career as a leader in the field of psychology that advocates for the positive aspects of video games, that whole journey started because of OotiniCast in a really big way. So I don't know how many new listeners the show has picked up in the last 6 years or so, or maybe 5. Time is so weird because it's pandemic time too.
It is also, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
5
I
years.
did about 2.5 years as the co-host with Chill. And that was right after Tio stepped down from doing the live component. And I was a new grad school professor at the time who had hosted or had guested on the show about 4 times in the part of my education where we're doing dissertation research, which that's like the Jedi trial for completely finishing all the school that your field has for you.
Right.
And so, you know, for me, OotiniCast and Star Wars: The Old Republic and BioWare and now Broadsword have always this sentimental place in my heart, no matter how much I'm playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. There is no Dr. Gameology and Dr. Daniel Kaufmann, the person I actually am. Not my Sith name, but like my actual name. That person is doing very different, much more mundane work in my field without me running into you, Chill, and Tio, and being able to connect with the Utini guilds and have characters on both the Satil Shan and Starforge, and just being able to learn what an MMORPG is, which it's so bizarre to think about a version of me that had never played nor was able to explain to people what an MMORPG is. But I need to shorten this now. So what is the shortcut to the cool stuff? My book came out. And it does have Old Republic references. It is called The Gamer's Journey.
Very cool.
And the point of the book is, with references to nearly 200 different games or franchises, I take the reader through all the stages of the hero's journey using only video games. And just like mythology helps us to form cultural identity and understand philosophy and understand personal struggle and the pursuit of fulfillment in life and achieving the biggest goals that we can dream of, like Luke Skywalker staring at the twin suns, the binary sunset, you know, that moment is the call to adventure, but actually leaving Tatooine, actually living the path of the Jedi. Star Wars gives us the hero's journey in huge ways, but video games do as well. And that book, you can buy it from almost anywhere. I have an online store now. You can buy it directly from me if you want to. Barnes & Noble and Books A Million have it too. Amazon has in the past had copies of it too. I think they're hard to work with for my publisher, but is there
an audio book version?
It's on Audible. It's also on Kindle Unlimited for people who like to read on their iPad. We got a voice actor to do it, and this voice actor started out with his first gigs being through the Geek Therapeutics publisher, and then actually became a voice actor because of books like The Psychology of Zelda, The Psychology of Final Fantasy, and things like that.
Oh, that's slick.
And also, just as a side note, since my time focusing exclusively on SWTOR, one of the things that was tough for me was I had not become a successful Nightmare Raider, which has hundreds of life lessons for me in there. But one of the final conversations I had with my last raid team, it was another person that was in the doctoral journey in their academic stuff. And I was just talking to him about, like, I'm not good at this. I feel like I'm one of the worst players on this team. And every time I have a chance to practice, it feels to me like I have a choice of, do I want to get better at these other non-gaming things, which I've I've twisted all the non-gaming things into as much of a gaming thing as I possibly can. But that's ultimately the big reason I stepped away from SWTOR and started playing other games and started running research teams and lending my voice to this idea that video games are not bad. They can become an issue for people, but it's not the tier 1 issue. It's more like the tier 2 issue that gets all the headlines and distracts people from actually making the changes they need to make. And because I've been a gamer my whole life, when I explain this, it has changed people's perspective on the spot more times than
That's
not.
cool.
So
Yeah.
I'm always sharing ideas about the positive aspects that video games can give us in our mental health journey, our philosophy for life, how we select our goals and pursue them. And that's what my stream's all about. I became Twitch partner earlier this year. I got YouTube partner last year with my videos doing archetypes and other things with classic and famous video game characters. And
Cool.
so I'm still going to be around for people in this community that want to find me. And I'm still talking and working with Broadsword too. They've been really supportive of me and understanding that SWTOR is in there. It's not the only thing, but they're really excited with what I'm doing in the gaming industry and the gaming industry space. So that's been such a cool thing. I stayed away from them for years because I answered the question for them saying, like, I'm not streaming SWTOR. Why would they want me in their list? And then when I was like, I think I could play some SWTOR, and they're like, oh, you're absolutely back in. Tell us what you're working on. And just so much enthusiasm. So just such good, high quality people involved in the game right now, at least the people that I've had the chance to interact with.
Sure.
And I'm just so honored to be here and to talk with you one last time with the mics live. Chill. And also you, Kitty, thank you so much for being the guy to step in and be like, get out here if you don't want to be here, Doc.
Beat it, Doc.
I actually have, I want to share one more thing. I added this cool BRB little plugin to my stream last week that plays all the clips that are in my Twitch library from over the years. And one of the clips that plays when I leave BRB up is from Gods from the Machine, and it is a Utini Guild's run.
And
the big explosion happens. Everybody dies except for me. I have such a terrible stream layout too. It's so garbage. Like, why would anybody watch this channel? My mic is terrible. My volume's whack. But I survived, and everybody's like, did anyone survive? Is anyone up? Because, you know, that fight was 20 minutes when it originally debuted. And then I just speak up like, I didn't blow up. And they're like, you should be co-host on OotiniCast now. It was just such a funny little moment. Like, surviving that boss fight is what gave me the chance to be on the show in just like a funny wink, nod kind of way. And seeing that on my stream, I think actually made me a lot more aware to notice that this was the final episode. So thanks for the minutes to share what I'm up to. Also,
it's so good.
like, I'm still a professor. Still, I'm pursuing my final rank later in the year, and I'm the director of gaming services for a nationwide telehealth network of counselors. And so, if anyone needs a counselor for whatever their mental health stuff is, we do not demonize games. We do not demonize playing gambling or video games. You know, if you want these things to still be a part of your life, our staff is trained by me to be able to have that conversation and guide you through that. And cool. Just continuing to advocate for what we call geek therapy nationwide and just get the microphone, get the podium at the PAX conventions and WonderCon, and hopefully someday I'm going to make it on stage at San Diego or New York Comic Con. But for the psychology types who do the geek therapy, that's like the holy grail.
Right.
We're waiting to break through on that one, but
Yeah.
it's going to happen eventually.
And I do see that sometimes when you go to cons and stuff, and you do give talks, so it's just a matter of time till they ask you to one of those for sure. I'd say. So
Yeah.
The cool thing about the types of communities that have gamers in them is there's so many events, because every single part of the country is just thirsting for that community and that ability to get out of the house and go to a place where the things that we do are cool and accepted and also quirky and unique. And so, when I go to a convention now that the book is out, I went to PAX Unplugged, which is for tabletop games. There's nothing's plugged in there. There's no video games, but still my book sold out in the weekend.
That's
like
awesome.
the people that go to these things have been so supportive to me. Even if they don't know me, they listen, and they just are so excited that there are psychology professionals that want to change the way this is talked about. And we really needed it, because in all of my training, I grew up in this very demonized, games are juvenile and childish and delinquent kind of spaces. And then when I say, well, that's funny because I get all my good grades using strategies from video games just on my assignments, and they think I'm making fun of their assignments or something. I'm really not. It's just the strategies we use to take down bosses and equip the right gear and level up and go to the right planets and find the side quests and look up guides and know what to sell and how much to sell it for, so you can become billionaires, at least in one version of reality. These are great mental abilities. These are going to, if you can channel that kind of energy in other areas of your life too, and you're patient enough. All the things I'm talking about, by the way, took like 15 years or 25 years or whatever to happen. So depending on how you count, like the first time I played KOTOR to now is a long time ago.
Right.
So, it's not the instant gratification path. It's not the dark side at all.
It's not the quick and easy path.
Also, last thing, I promise. My most recent chapter to be accepted for a book that will be published hopefully by the end of the year is In the Psychology of Villains. I wrote a chapter about Darth Vader.
Oh, so that sounds cool.
That's like super big achievement for me.
Yeah.
When I put the proposal, I was like, I'm probably competing with 20 people for this chapter.
Right, exactly.
And luckily I think I would have beaten all 20 of them, but I wasn't competing with anyone. They're like, yes, we need this for the book. Wow. How fast can you write it? And I was like, yeah, let's do this. So
that's so
by
cool.
the way, Chill and Kitty, have you seen Anakin versus Obi-Wan If It Was a Musical, which is a crazy AI video that's going around on like TikTok and YouTube?
No, I have not.
Oh my gosh, you have to watch it after the episode. Okay. It will change your life. You'll be singing it in your head all day.
Hold on, what's it called again?
Anakin versus Obi-Wan If It Was a Musical.
That's funny.
All the words are just the dialogue, but they AI-ified it to make their faces look terrible and have them holding guitars and singing it. It's so good. It's changed my life. It's like brought me back to Star Wars. Full circle.
There's never really been a musical. They tried it with the holiday special, and it's never come back.
No, it's not like the holiday special at all. This is like, this could bring us world peace if enough people watched it. I promise.
Okay, nice. I found it. I'll watch it afterwards.
Yeah. I'm awesome. Evangelizing one person at a time with this video.
Right. All right. Is there anything else, Doc?
I still think Sith Sorcerer is the coolest class that I will ever play in any RPG, and I am not going to change that opinion ever.
That makes sense, yeah. All right, then, Kitty, what you been up to?
Oh, well, I've been running operations in SWOTOR with you and my community, our community. We share a lot of the same folks.
Saturday,
Right.
The Saturday ones, yeah.
Yeah, so we started doing operations. There's a lot of people in our community that has never run them. So right now we're running story mode operations and kind of getting people used to, you know, how operations work and, you know, how to work as a team and the mechanics of the fights and stuff like that. And
Right.
a lot of people have already, you know, have run them independently, but there are some people that, you know, haven't, and they've been having a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun. And I'd realized I hadn't run an operation in years. I used to go to Jar Jar Joyride, but my schedule kind of changed and I wasn't able to make it. And then I don't know.
Because for you, it's pretty late. Yeah.
Yeah. And the idea of putting it together, being the cat herder, was just like, I don't want to do it. But then I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to do it, bite the bullet. And we have a good turnout every time. People are very pleasant. We don't do the, you know, making fun of anybody for not knowing the fight. You know, we're very cordial, like in the Jar Jar Joyride.
Yeah.
We're there to learn and have fun, which is the main objective. And it's been great. It's been really, really fun. Eventually we're going to work our way up to veteran mode, and I'm not even going to touch hard mode. Nothing will turn me into a 2-year-old faster than doing that. I can't. I don't have it in me.
Right.
Just like I can't do it.
Hopefully veteran get through those.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. And I think that the upgrade from story mode to veteran, you know, where the actual mechanics kick in a lot more. So you're not staying in the right place. You're gone.
Yeah.
You're not doing the right thing. It's a wipe.
That's right.
Which is important for people to learn in order to do it. And it's like that next level in the game that you can go to, and it's not super difficult, but it's fun.
Yeah,
it's been great.
It's been fun for me too. I basically have sort of set myself up as like the fill-in guy. Like, so when you need a DPSer there, I'm there with a DPS, and when you need a healer, I've been a healer. And if you needed a tank, I could be a tank too, of course. It's actually been kind of fun for me because like I have never really been a healer very seriously before, and so because I've been trying out different specs for PvP on Starforge recently, I had recently done Sage/Sork healing, and so I very quickly made that, you know, essentially recreated that spec, you know, on Satil Shan on the character who could do it, Cthulhu,
right?
Because she could become a sorcerer very easily, and and it's been actually really fun. At first, like I actually did it like the PvP one, where I was actually using the one that gives damage and then bounces and becomes a heal. And I think that was fine for like story mode EV, but as soon as we did anything more harder, I swapped to like full, just straight, you know, straight up and down healing spec, and it was needed too. But it was fun. It's been fun learning the healing thing too, because I've never really healed.
Sometimes we run with only one healer.
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
Keeping you busy.
Yeah. I now I've kind of tried all of them, at least on the PvP end. And I think the Sork Sage healing is the most fun for me. So
that's the only one that I've ever done heals on. And I like it. It's a fun one.
It's pretty popular too. It's hard sometimes because you end up with if you end up with 2 Sork healers, then they can't, you know, you can only give so many shields, so you're kind of losing out on some, you know, out on some things if you don't have at least, you know, someone who's a power tech or an operative or whatever.
I'm having PTSD listening to this because I love Sith Sorcerer so much that it hurts my heart when we talk strategy and it's like, but what about power tech? Like, screw you guys and your power tech love. I mean, I'm being tongue in cheek here. Power techs are great, but I have trauma wrapped up in how great power techs are.
That's awesome.
Because I just want Sith Sorcerer to be that great. That's all I want.
Well, Sith Sorcerer will always look cooler than Power Tech.
That's
Hands down.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Take
Hands
that,
down.
Mandalorian fan.
That's right.
Healing is where I started too. And so that's where my MMO identity started. And the only reason that I became the Dungeons and Dragons wizard, where it's like fireball, big boom, that's now my entire identity.
Yeah.
is because of higher end rating at veteran and then moving towards nightmare. You have to have people that no matter what their role is, they're also paying attention to their damage output.
Mhm.
And so it became in my raid team called Death Star Troopers, which is with Marcus from Working Class Nerds.
That's right.
Who's my current co-host on the gaming persona. I raided with him in SWTOR for about 5 years.
Yeah.
And around year 2, we were talking strategy all the time. And it just came up like, Doc, do you want to DPS this one and we can move so-and-so over to healer? I think that the team would still work. And so I said, yeah, I can do that. I'll play lightning. And it just... Once I became a lightning sorcerer, the game changed and my identity changed. And your primary role is a major part of your psychological connection with a game like this. And that has actually become a big part of the research conversation I'm always having is people think we casually create these characters with no deeper reason. And I'm always just like, if I'm in therapy with someone, I'm guiding someone through that, and they mention, like, I create a character in Diablo. It's like, ho, 35 minutes left. Let's talk about your character creation choices. Monster Hunter Wilds just came out. Very similar kind of thing. It's not just SWTOR, but for me, all of this stuff started with some of the earliest games where we do create our characters, like creating your I don't want to spoil KOTOR. Can we spoil KOTOR? Like creating
I don't know.
your Revan, right?
Right.
Sorry, redacted. Creating your redacted. I'm sorry, everybody. It's so weird. Like, am I allowed to say Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father? Like, I don't know how to handle this.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows it, but you don't want to wreck it for anybody that doesn't know it.
I have students all the time that tell me, Dr. K, I have never watched Star Wars. And I'm just like, why are you in my class?
F.
but the healer thing is real, and you were making me feel all that. So thanks for another moment. I think that, but now oddly enough, I tank most when I'm playing games because now I have control issues. Right? You either die a healer or you play long enough to become the tank. Is that
right.
Is that the phrase?
That's a different. Yeah, it's a Batman thing.
Exactly.
But hey, it's all good.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. I wonder what you would say because when I did Freddie Mercury, I made him a tank because I thought the whole idea was as a front man, he wanted, the idea is he has all the attention on him. And so that's like taunting. So I made him a shadow tank.
The eyeballs of the crowd are the incoming damage, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I will never, on the topic of SWTOR podcasts that are not continuing. Oh my gosh. The one with why can't I remember the name of the pod? I'm sorry. We're just gonna have to drop it. Right. No, it's like I used to raid with these people. The one with all the like potty humor and swearing and like.
Not necessarily narrowing it down that much.
Not narrowing it down.
Yeah, right. Definitely
not narrowing it down.
Okay. Anyway, I have also
Bad Feeling podcast. Thank you, Intisar.
Oh, the Bad
Feeling had a very memorable explanation of what tanks are doing that was like equating to very adult sexual activity that I will never forget about the person needing all the attention in the middle of a circle of enemies. So you can listen to their entire catalog just looking for that one reference, and clearly that reference stuck with me because it's from like 7 years ago. It's like, this is what tanks want. They want all the stuff flowing towards them.
Everything's on them. Yep.
Stuff.
Yeah, the stuff.
The stuff.
Listen,
Well-
it's the final episode. If I'm killing your ratings, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
yeah.
all right.
Chill and I have been doing some PvP,
We have?
which is always fun. Did you finish already?
I am so close. Olaf is like 2/3 through level 79. It's like probably one more session and we'll ding 80.
No. Did you finish the PvP season?
Oh, yeah, weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got the electric chicken suit?
Yeah, and all that.
Nice.
I mean, actually, I haven't. I have to remember to go and like actually grab it all. It'll send it to me via the mail if I don't. But still, I'd rather do it on a character where I expect it instead of like, when the season ends and the first person I log on to on that server just ends up getting it all in their mail. So
Yeah, I messed it up last season and had to ask for help.
right.
Pretty funny. I finished my Toots McThunderbuns character.
Yeah, I remember when you were playing that person a lot, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, she's all done and dusted. And I started a new character, Kitty Galore.
Okay.
And it's a he.
Oh.
So I'm playing him that he's eventually going to turn into Balin's skull. So, because I always like to give him an arc. So he starts off one way, has an epiphany at some point, and then eventually turns into the character that he's going to be at the end of the story.
That's cool.
And I don't know if he's going to go saboteur or not, if I'm going to go light side or not, but we're going to get to Balin's skull and then finish it out and see what's up. And it's been really, really fun. I made another Marauder because I love it. I love the class.
Yeah.
And I think that
Do you like all
might
the specs?
actually...
Sorry.
Huh?
Do you like all the specs in the class? Or do you
I
have a
like the
particular
hybrid.
spec?
The hybrid spec.
Okay.
It's fun. And I don't care if it does the most DPS or not, as long as I'm having fun, which I always say the only way you can win an MMO is to have fun.
That's right.
And so I like a mobile class. So I'm thinking that might be my PvP class.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really enjoy it. I really got the rotation down.
It makes sense.
Maybe next season, that's one that I'll make when we play through again.
Okay.
So, but yeah,
That'd be
so
fun.
that was really fun. And lastly, I have been really, really looking forward to Andor. I don't know if you were a big fan of the first season or not.
Loved it.
But that
yeah.
second season's coming out and I cannot wait.
Yeah.
And they're dropping 3 episodes every week. So,
Right.
and I guess that there's a year in between every week in the storyline.
Oh, interesting.
So, and it's going to
Okay.
end as soon as Rogue One starts.
Right. That makes sense.
So, which is going to be really
Yeah.
cool. I'm really looking forward
It's
to it.
kind of like the
gonna be super
the
cool.
original Han Solo trilogy of books that they did back. This would now be Legends, and it literally
I hated them.
it literally takes you from Han's birth, and then the last page of the last book, he's walking into the Mos Eisley Cantina, and he's about to meet Luke and Obi-Wan.
Oh wait, no, maybe that's not the one that I remember. The one I remember, I had to stop reading it because Han Solo went skiing, and I was like, nope, done. Threw that thing in the trash. I was like, this is
I don't know
ridiculous.
what one that is. It
Han
doesn't
Solo doesn't go skiing.
doesn't sound familiar though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
No,
just
this
like-
is a
I
very
was so
well
sad,
regarded
too.
This is a very well regarded trilogy of books from pretty
Oh,
early
okay,
on,
okay.
and
Maybe I'll check that out.
This would be like really old.
The dark
way before
times.
Disney. Yeah, way before Disney.
Yeah.
Did they call it skiing though?
It's something dumb. Something like,
Skiing.
who knows? I'd like to actually find out if someone in chat can go on to the internets and Google Han Solo skiing and see what it's called. I would
They
actually
could call
love
it glide blading or something.
Yes,
I'd
something
be
like
able to
that.
buy
Right.
that.
Ice
Yeah.
gliding. So yeah, that makes sense. Of course, it's going to be something like that.
shooting. It was ridiculous. I think there was like thrusters on the skis or something ridiculous like that. But I was just like bloop right in the. In fact,
That's
you
so
know
funny.
what? I think I threw it. It was an audio book, and I threw it out the window.
Like a
I
tape.
remember because
Like a
I
tape?
remember right where I was, and I just went, hit the
Eject button.
eject off of the thing, and I just threw it out the window.
And then you ejected it from the cassette, and then ejected it from the car.
Is done. Yeah, and I remember it was around lunchtime too, and I know exactly. I remember exactly where it was. I remember the weather. It was a very nice day, and I was like, I hope people run that fucking thing over. Anyway.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's it for me, Chill.
Is that all? No worries. Okay.
I'm gonna pass it on over to you. I have had one of the happiest times doing the podcast with you, and I remember feeling so proud when you asked me if I wanted to co-host with you, and I was like, oh, that's Chill believes in me.
I do.
I was like
And it's
very,
been a
very
lot of
proud.
fun.
And then us getting to be, friends in real life was an extra added bonus that I thought was, we'll be friends for the rest of our lives. And I was just very, very happy. Yeah. I enjoy our lunches and stuff that we go on.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's been a blast. It's sad to see, but everything has its time.
Exactly. So, and I would probably at this point, like, there are still, a lot of great people doing SWTOR stuff. Not quite the sort of podcasty, that we do, but if you need the news, it's out there. If there's a big thing, SWTORista will do something on it. Volk will do something on it. There's other people too, and they're all
very
doing
prolific.
Good work. Yeah, they're all doing good work. So, I have no problem, as far as that, passing that particular piece of the reins off.
On that note, I got to go to the bathroom.
Perfect, because it's going to take a while. Because we have a fair number of folks here for the last show in the chat room. Iron Spider's here, Anu, Altul, Aroha's Ducks, Cheryl Mercury, Dad Bod Sam, Dekion is here, Delegate, Ditzy Brit Gaming, and of course Dr. Gameology is here, 510, Hi is here, Japeo, Gonzo, Katarn, Immortalized Love, Intasar Noir, Jedi Knight 1, Kyriax, Cogas is here, Lisa Late Bloomer, Quirkus, Resident Jason, Shintar Commando, Squishy Twitchy, Starry Saber, Stask, Totes Bestie. I'm just going based on the list, but there's probably more from... It looks like the chat's been pretty active, and I'm probably missed some people, but thank you everyone for coming here today. All right, so what I've been doing since the last show, lots of PvP with KittyKissz, as we said, and Olaf is almost done. He's a Carnage Marauder, and what I'm finding as far as Carnage Marauder is going is the damage is good, the utility is just not there. Like, we are losing a lot, and I blame myself a lot of it because, like, even on when the numbers pop up at the end and my damage is okay, I have like hardly any slows, no hard stuns, no pulls, no pushes, no roots. It's like the utility is so low. If it wasn't for like predation, I would feel like I'm doing nothing at all for the group other than damage. But it's a fun, and having said that, it's actually a fun spec to do because you get a ton of alacrity and you just go, you just get to attack. It's a really fun spec to do. I could totally see doing it for like an operation spec, but in terms of PvP, it's really rough because there's just very little utility there. So beyond the PvP with KittyKissz, I've been doing some Hybe PvP on 3 different characters, actually. I don't know, I've just gone kind of... I usually stick to 1, but right now I'm on 3 of them. They're all Hybe right now, so that makes it even more. So 7 of 9, a Baroness, and Storm. So Baroness is tactics trooper, essentially. Not that story, but that's her abilities. Storm, I have her as a proper lightning sork. I've done Storm as other things too. And then 7 of 9 was a healer, an operative healer, and after level 60, I went back to PvP for her for a little bit, and I just didn't like the spec, so I switched to lethality. So at least I'm back to liking the character again, because I think it's actually a really fun cosplay to do, and it's actually pretty accurate, because there is a little cybernetic choice you can make that gives you a little thing around the character's left eye, and it feels very, accurate for her. And there's a couple of hairstyles that really do look like 7 of 9s from Voyager. So anyway, so we've switched her to lethality, even though that's probably less accurate, but whatever. We'll just pretend it's accurate. She's using some sort of micro whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyway. I also made a Zap Brannigan trooper.
Oh, wow.
And this is on Satil Shan, yeah. And he has a coward play style, which I just named that, but this is what the rules are. So the companion has to do... You
refuse to equip pants, right?
Yes. I'm using the triumvirate things that just gives you, it has no leggings and just shows his legs. And then I found a jacket that goes just below the belt, so it barely covers his butt. And in a lot of cutscenes, it doesn't cover his butt. But yeah,
nice.
I mean, I know in Futurama, they never quite show everything. They always cheat it a little bit.
Authentic, yes. Chill. Yes. I like to hear it. And then the companion is in the same outfit, in the same dupe outfit. So yeah, and eventually Yoon. Part of the reason for Trooper is because it kind of feels like the whole dupe, him running a spaceship thing, and being a commander and all that. And then partly I wanted Yoon to be the companion eventually, because there is a yellowish-green customization for Yoon that you can get. And I'm going to put him in the dupe outfit. Oh, yeah. And he's going to hate everything Zap does, because this is not it's not quite Dark Trooper, but it's mostly Dark Trooper. It's basically every third choice available, and I've never seen most of these choices that Brannigan is making. Even when I'm doing Dark Trooper, I always feel like the character has to be a little sneaky about it, and a little diplomatic, and putting up a front of being a decent guy while being Dark Trooper. Not Zap Brannigan. He is just total a-hole. Every choice is just the worst choice you can make.
He's my favorite.
And if you do this, it actually feels like you are dragging the character through the story, because every time they say to do something, as well, do I have to do it? Can't someone else do it? Can't we just bomb them? Do it. Why don't you just go kill them with the army? Why do I have to go do this? It's like you're dragging him through the story bit by bit by bit, and it is amazing and awful and kind of funny, and his ass is hanging out basically, and it's a lot of fun.
That's great.
But it is hard to do. It is mentally hard for me to do this. So I can do about a planet's worth, and then I've just had it with Zap.
It's one thing to feel bad.
Yes, I feel bad.
Personally?
I've literally seen there's almost half of the choices he's made. I've never made those choices before. And I've done Dark Trooper before twice. And I still have never done these ones before. Because it's all the ones where you're insulting Garza, and you're just blatantly asking for bribes, and it's like every a-hole, stupid, ignorant thing you can do.
Right.
You can do it this.
But these
are the strategies that get you ahead in the world today, Chill.
That's right. Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah. Well, if you've ever heard the voice actor does, Zap Brannigan, he does Trump
he
quotes.
Does Fry.
Well, he does. Trump quotes with Zap Brannigan's voice.
Oh, no way.
It's amazing.
Billy
Look
West.
it up. Yeah, he did this during Trump's first time round.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So it's so hard to do that. I just can't do it every day. So,
That's so funny.
I made
it's taxing you emotionally.
It's literally taxing. I'm telling you, half of the things the choices Zap is making, I've never done before. I've never seen the troopers say these a-hole things before. It's crazy. It's crazy how awful it feels and how awful it is. And try it one time. You literally are dragging the character like every other character. It's like, okay, let's go get him, or it's like, well, maybe we can do something else. This character, it's like he has to be dragged through every goddamn story beat.
There is research on player avatar connections in psychology journals.
It's hard. It's hard to do this character.
What you're describing, Chill, it's not the avatar as the self, because that would be you just playing yourself. Right. That's like what I did in SWTOR, except my original character was a pure dark Sith sorcerer, and then so that was a little bit more of an escape fantasy for me. When I finished my doctorate, I switched to light 5, which is a lot of light side points in order to change a dark 5 character to a light 5 character.
Yeah, it is.
What you're describing, though, you're not Zap Brannigan, so this is already an alternate character outside of yourself, but your emotions are reacting to it, which means you are playing a style in research that's been called Avatar as a Symbiote.
Interesting.
All right.
Okay.
And if you are interested in this, I'm going to just shamelessly plug my book again. And remember,
I love it.
OotiniCast's final episode is why we're all here, and it's been an amazing show. But OotiniCast turned me into who I am. And I wrote this book, and I talk about this at several points throughout the book, is about how much we can grab from the characters we create to understand ourselves better. And I love that I got to listen to you describe Zap Brannigan and what it's like playing him, because that is such a perfect way of helping someone who doesn't want to go to college and do a psychology course to understand so many cool ideas about how video games teach us things. If we're paying attention to the lesson and not just what it's like to be in a game circumstance. So very cool. I hope. I think it's actually really cool, all the different twists and turns it takes when you create these characters from other properties, which is what you do.
That's why you
a lot of the time, Chill. Yeah. And so it's really neat. I think if you look at the way all three of us play games like this, you'd actually see almost the entire spectrum of player avatar psychology. And we're just three random people who were brought together by a podcast. So I just think that things like that are why video games are amazing, and they're universally powerful.
Thanks. One more thing about Zap Brannigan before we move on. Like I said, the coward play style, it's just a term I coined. So the companion has to do all the damage. He can't help them. If he takes any damage, he has to line of sight them, and he has to tell the companion to attack whoever's attacking him, because he can't take any damage. So the idea is like he has to take as little damage as possible. If the companion dies, then I'm sort of forced to fight, because otherwise, or I could run away, but it's like at some point I got to finish this damn game. So I do. Once the companion's dead, then I do fight. He's still pretty early on, so it's still Eric. I could have like 4X by now, but because we've gotten past Nar Shaddaa, so it could be Alara, it could be 4X. But I still have Eric because I think it's funnier to see him in the dupe outfit.
I'm carousing the internet right now, looking at Zap Brannigan outfit. Yeah, this is my next. This is my next build for sure.
It's hilarious. Oh, and also Zap Brannigan. I did body size 4 because he's always he always has the gut. But also something I noticed when I was making him is in Futurama he has a little bit of a he doesn't have an eyebrow. He doesn't have eyebrows at all. He has an eyebrow ridge, sort of. There's like a little bit of a line there, but there's no eyebrows on him. So I actually did because there's a couple of them in the game of SWTOR where there's no eyebrows, and I was like, I didn't know why I would ever use it, but I've got a reason now. So
it's like me.
Yeah, because you're right. Because you have very little
they're
eyebrows,
like blonde,
or they're
what
so
the
blonde
hell?
that they're so they're almost invisible. And yeah, that's how I have the zaps as well. And I also have the white eyes because it basically looks like Grenig-esque eyes with like white with a little dot in the middle.
Mine's gonna be girdled.
Yeah. You'll need the red and yellow dye. Find a jacket of some sort. I chose one, like I said, that it's one of those that has a little bit of cloth that goes below the belt, just a little bit, so it barely covers his butt. Like not a proper jacket, not like not like a Nico or anything like that. Not a full jacket, just one of those little jackets that goes below the belt a little bit. It's
I think fun. I know what boots would work really well too.
Yeah, that's right. You need some white dyes.
My
for the boots
brain
and for the gloves.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I made another character yesterday just so I could have a little bit of a break. It's not even a character
I start having nightmares.
Yeah, it's not even a character I know well, but it's not even a character I know particularly well, but I based it on Magic from X-Men/New Mutants. And yeah, she's fun. I hadn't really done the Dot Guardian spec for a long time, so we're doing that. Still pretty very early. Satil Sean, I'm not going to do PvP on her, just having fun, just doing some leveling up. And we finished up Coruscant today. So it's not the Sol Karath jacket. I was looking at that one, Doritos, and that one probably maybe it would work as well or better, but I found a different one and I can't remember the name of it. Just because I liked how it actually the Sol one has like little epaulets, but they're only on the sides, and then Zap Brannigan has like these yellow lines that goes across the top, and then he has epaulets. I don't know. I just you could get. It depends on what you kind of focus on. I ended up not focusing on one thing and focusing more on the other. The Sol one would work too, though, for sure. All right, so that'll bring us to the tip of the week. Hey, we're in the second segment of the show. That's okay. Most of these will go a lot faster.
Winning.
From Andrew, we got at the Capero Stronghold. If you don't like random guests lingering around the Capero Stronghold, the first one will be there, but the other ones will only be there if you've actually done the mission unlocks. So you won't be able to get rid of the first one, but you can just not do the missions, and then the other two won't be there. So. And he said, love the podcast. Wish Broadsword gave you more to talk about more often, but I will take new episodes when I can get them. And sorry about this. So, sounds like this was before I made the announcement, I believe, is when I did this. So thanks for making my work commutes enjoyable. So Rebin Karamba on Satil Sean. So thank you, Rebin Karamba. But hey, you're on the last episode, so there you go.
I want to also just say, the person that made me aware this was happening, which led to the text messages with you, Chill, I didn't say their name because I didn't know who was going to show up in the chat. But it was Doritos 95,000. So it's really nice to see you. And now, since you said his name first, I'll say his name second. And now you're part of the final episode too. So there you go.
We had one other from Dekion, actually, our guild leader, when we were doing one of the Jar Jar Joyrides. He mentioned there's a cool hood option now in the game. It's the PvP season reward. It's level 1, and you don't have to do PvP to do it because there's a catch-up feature, and if you have 15,000 credits, you just go to the PvP season, and this is like the last week of it, I think. Go get the reward season level 1. It's the first reward, so you only have to buy one level's worth. It's 15,000 credits, and it gives you a hood, and you can actually put it on whatever outfit you want because it's like a headpiece hood. It's not like the chest piece as well, so you can just throw a hood on something else.
Such a big problem in video games by doing that.
Yeah, and he said it works well with the Dathomir set especially. So, and this is the one that sort of has a feathery look, but really depending on how you dye it, you may notice the feathers, you may not, and they look kind of cool anyway, even apart from the PvP set itself. But anyway, so thanks Deck for that as well. And I will not say please send your tips to OotiniCast@gmail.com before the next show, because that doesn't make any sense.
I won't post it in chat.
But
Wait, are we having a dark side heel turn? Are we gonna treat our community poorly because there's no consequences?
there's no consequences at all.
Option 3, chill. What would Zap Brannigan do?
What would Zap Brannigan do? Yes. All right, that'll bring us to the Mind Trap. Now that we've seen
Oh my gosh, we're still doing the Mind Trap.
I know. You have left your mark. I was actually going to say something about that at the last end of the show. We can say it now. Yes, you've left your mark on the entirety of the show. We still do the Mind Trap polls every week or every episode without fail. I say every week because usually we do episodes every 2 weeks, and then in the middle week we put out the poll, so it's out there for a week. So
such a fun legacy.
Yeah, so in the Mind Trap, now that we've seen SWTOR Galactic Season 8, which of the rewards interests you most? And we got a pretty good amount of votes. It's been a little tricky since we left X behind. We're now on Blue Sky and Mastodon. But we got 50 votes, so I really appreciate it. That's a really pretty solid amount. The answers were the mounts, cartel coins, armor, weapons, dyes, or other. And the mounts won with 36% of the vote. Cartel coins came in a close second with 32% of the vote, so 36 to 32. And a little bit behind that was armor and weapons with 26% of the vote. Other was just a couple votes at 4%, and dyes was 1 vote, 2%. And I was the dyes, so there we go. Nice. I actually like the dyes, so I think they're kind of interesting too. And if you look at them, it's I could see where they might be really useful for certain things and blah, 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 blah. I especially like the dark blue metallic. I think that's really cool looking. And it looks really good with certain outfits. So I was the one person who voted dyes, but mounts won.
That
cartel
doesn't mean you were
second.
wrong, chill.
That's right.
That doesn't
Everyone,
mean you were wrong.
That's right. We all have our own choices. Now, Doc, let's start with you. What would you vote for the Galactic Season 8 rewards? Or it can be other as well.
That's so
if
hard.
You love the decos, because that wasn't one of the options.
I think I'd go after the armor and weapons, honestly. I mean, mounts are fun, and I can see maybe 4 out of 10 times I might actually vote mounts with my one choice. But I think the thing that would motivate me to actually keep playing are glowy weapons that do special things and armor that connects the character in my mind to this fantasy vision of what I think this character could be if I had the right items on them.
Right.
And research-wise, character customization is one of the most powerful motivators for ongoing or extending your gameplay. And I think that our vehicle garage is an extension of that.
Right.
For a lot of players, I don't think that we actually separate armor and weapons from the mounts. But if you did have to separate it, I think for me, the costume my character is wearing would be my choice.
Nice. Yeah. For me, I like the dyes better. The armor was okay. I wasn't really a big fan of the weapons, although they look very realistic. I mean, they kind of look like weapons that might exist in real life, more or less. And they have some nice wooden bits on them and stuff like that. But they just didn't really do too much for me this time around. Cartel coins, of course, got second. How about you, Kitty?
I wasn't sure if I was armor or weapons. I think mine was other because I want the haircut. There's the haircut is the last, very last thing.
Yes.
But there's the super completionist reward that is a secondary haircut.
Right.
And it's all about, evidently it's all about the hairstyle for me.
It's also character customization. You're proving my research correct.
Right.
Yeah. I
need
of course. And I don't know if I'll ever use it, but I want it to be there.
Right.
Who am I kidding? I'm going to use it.
You'll find a way to use it.
I'll get it in there. Because my nightmare mode Space Barbie, definitely can use it.
Okay. Awesome. So thank you to everyone who voted. We'll go on to the Cantina Talk. This is an occasional segment that we do. Since this is the last episode, what I'm doing is sort of a wrap-up of the possibles, because I always had a list of possible voice actors to do a whole segment
nice.
on. But this is the last chance. So what we're instead going to do is we're going to take most of the ones that I had on this maybe list, and we're just going to hit the highlights of each of them. So we're going to start with Joseph. What the Cantina Talk is, we pick out a voice actor from the literally hundreds who have voiced for SWTOR over the years, and then we kind of go over some of their career and also what they do within SWTOR itself. But we're going to do a highlight version of that this time because we're going to do multiple people. Joseph Gatt. So he is tall, bald, and intimidating in real life. So he was Then Warg on Game of Thrones. He was Neil Skellig on the live-action Dumbo a few years back. And in SWTOR, he's the voice of Lord Scourge, which is very cool. Lord Scourge has a very great voice, very distinctive as well. Really hard to miss. Done really well by Joseph Gatt. So congratulations to Joseph Gatt. Moving on to James Urbiank. He was Kurt Gödel in Oppenheimer. So if you've seen Oppenheimer, he played famous physicist Kurt Gödel. He was also R. Crumb in American Splendor, which is a very cool movie, by the way. If you haven't seen it,
very cool.
I'd say check it out. And he's C2D4 in SWTOR. So
wow,
he's C2D4
of all the things. Yeah, he's C2D4. Make him bleed. So I just love that one.
Bleed.
I was watching the crazy Make 'em Bleed, during the Revan fight, and I was like, who does that? And it turns out it's James Urbaniak, Urbaniak, if I said that pronounced correct.
Yeah, looking at his face, he does look familiar.
Good. Andrew Bowen, he is Johnny Cage in all the recent Mortal Kombat games, and in SWTOR. Yeah, and in SWTOR he's Doc. So if you go back, if you listen to any of the recent Mortal Kombat video games, listen to Johnny Cage, you'll recognize him. He sounds very similar to Doc. He's putting on a little bit of a different voice, but it's definitely the same guy, and also very similar characters too. And I would bet he got Johnny Cage because of Doc. Because Doc is sort of like very self-aggrandizing. He's kind of a womanizer. He's very full of himself. He's very sure of himself. Johnny Cage has like all of that as well. Very similar attributes in a lot of things. There's tons of like Mortal Kombat, combo videos where it just shows all the introductions, and stuff like that. So it's really easy to get to listen to it. Anyway, really awesome. So Andrew Bowen did that. And finally, we'll do David Rintoul. So he was Michael Adine in 8 episodes of The Crown. He was Aerys Targaryen on... Actually, we have 2 more. Targaryen on Game of Thrones, which is cool. And SWTOR, he's Lord Praven, among other things. He did a few other ones as well. He's that interesting Sith on Tatooine in the Jedi Knight story who can either be killed or redeemed. And he has sort of like this odd sense of honor about him, which is partly why he can be redeemed. And he has a very cool deep voice. So David Rintoul did that. Very cool. And then finally, Kevin Michael Richardson. So he's also in Mortal Kombat as Goro recently. He was also Captain Gentoo in Lilo and Stitch. So this would be, the original Lilo and Stitch. This is not like the live version that's coming out soon. This is the original Captain Gentoo. And he was also Principal Lewis on American Dad, who also has sort of a deep voice. And he's also...
Who on American Dad?
Principal Lewis.
Oh, yeah, that is... that character's great.
Yeah. And he's also Dr. Hibbert on The Simpsons and Barbados Slim on Futurama. So he's made that whole circuit. Yeah. And in SWTOR, he's Jace Malcolm. So when you see, Principal Lewis on American Dad or Dr. Hibbert or Barbados Slim or Captain Gentoo, that's Jace Malcolm's voice actor. He also,
That's
interestingly, did Ares and Kotet, which is very different voice-wise, I feel, anyway. He definitely does way different voices. I would not have thought, in fact, that those were the same voice actor, which is very cool. So Jace Malcolm, though, is kind of the cool one to me. I mean, Ares is interesting, too, but Jace Malcolm is awesome. So, yeah, Kevin Michael Richardson. Very cool. All right.
Interesting.
Yeah, and of course we've always been, we always love the voice actors, and we hope that the voice acting, because the devs are being very nice about it, and they're trying to not blame the strike on why they can't do the story right now. But basically, what's going on is they're honoring the strike by not trying to go around it or anything by like sneaking voice lines in or anything like that. But because of the voice actor strike, until that's completed, it's hard for them to do the regular SWTOR storylines, and we want the voice actors to be paid. So
definitely.
Yeah, it's because the companies will get away with whatever they can get away with at this point. They have plenty of power. So let's hope that does get wrapped up in a reasonable way and reasonably soon. But until then, we're going to be seeing some more of the little holocom, choice things in game, unfortunately. But whenever it ends, there's going to be a deluge of story coming out. So
school.
All right, that'll bring us to the holo feed. Not a ton of news this time, but there's a few things. 761 went live 11 of March. 2 days later, on the 13th of March, 761A went live. Pretty typical, where there's some bug fixes. They did put a rush on this one because there was a bug where people weren't getting conquest points if they had multiples of the same stronghold, which apparently is a thing.
I suffered from that.
Did you? Was that from, I understand it was from server mergers once upon a time? Is that how that happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I have 2 Hut Vegases. Nar Shaddaa strongholds.
Yeah, I never ended up with any duplicates, so that bug, I didn't even know about it until I started reading about it. Was it how much of a problem was it? Could you get any conquest points, or was it certain things that wouldn't happen?
I didn't get anything. Because I usually do, when I log in, I do my crafting stuff for conquest.
Me too.
And I did that, and then came back on to check on it, see how far I was.
Your rewards,
and I'm like, wait a minute, nothing. But it was fine. The next day, it was all fixed and it worked.
Yeah.
So I just lost a day, but I got some stuff.
Yeah, so Galactic Season 8 Rising Powers is now active. It's basically one of the main things is uprisings with a twist. So Zerka Corporation, everyone's favorite crazy-ass mad scientist company, is back. And, of course, who else but they've tied in with Kai Zyken. So Kai will reach out with an offer to test new adrenal boosts. These experimental combat enhancers have a variety of effects and give you a special buff, and then you go in and it only works and only exists really within the uprising. I actually did one with the guild, and I ended up getting the one where every 5th enemy explodes. But it was kind of hard to tell it was happening. It wasn't super obvious which enemy defeating was exploding or how much damage it was doing, or if it was, I don't know. That one didn't seem to be too big a deal. It was fun to see the uprising again, though, I must say, because even in story mode, they're a little challenging.
Rough.
You have to be a little careful even in story mode, and if you do the harder mode, you're really going to have to be careful.
Keep you on your toes, Jill.
Yeah. How about you, Doc? Have you done a lot of uprisings, or even recently?
I used to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to really like them because they were shorter than Flashpoints, and they had more of the large number of enemy kind of vibe, as opposed to the go down the hallway, fight 4 enemies, go down the hallway, fight 3 enemies, find a boss room, which Flashpoints are fine too. I love them. But Uprisings, when they first came out and for a couple years after, I thought were really compelling group activity. But I think also around the time when I last played, they had become useless and people would never, I would never get a queue to pop for them.
Yeah.
So,
it's nice
if it's group content, you got to have the pops happening. Otherwise, the content dies. So
That's right.
I'm glad they're trying to remix it and put twists on it, because if you have the right rewards and you have cool twists on the gameplay, you can trick people into playing things they don't want to play. Right now,
otherwise want to.
That sounded really filthy. But video game design is actually, sorry everyone, psychology version of me is talking. Game design is all about getting people excited by your game, usually by ads and marketing, to buy it. And then once they're sitting down playing it, the game devs get in there and they're like, how do we increase engagement?
Right.
And there's all kinds of tactics you can do to do this ethically and also unethically. And, SWTOR does not have a huge unethical game design problem at all, which is that's a huge tribute to the quality of people and what they want their players' lives to look like.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when you have a dead area of content, you have to go into your bag of tricks to get people who don't want to play Uprisings to decide it is a viable use of my time now to play them.
Mm-hmm.
And so those tricks actually are deliberately manipulative, but not in an unethical way. Does that make sense? Am I being kind enough to Broadsword here that you don't want to spend all this time adding a new type of gameplay 6 years ago and then let it die and no one does it again? It's just no one checks the box to do this when they want group finder stuff.
Right.
So I'm glad they're remixing it, because some of those boss fights were pretty cool.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. I think the one we got was the Done and Dusted one, and it has a couple of really interesting fights in the middle, but also you can get like these pets that sort of help you a little bit. It's just fun. It's just fun. They're very tricky though. Like because they're supposed to be quick, but also they're pretty tight usually. And they're like, if you're not careful, you can get some pretty gnarly fights just by getting extra ads and stuff like that. But it's a lot of fun. So anyway, that's one of the main things about Galactic Season 8. It's now live. We're on to week 2 as of today. And so looks like fun. I am planning on doing Galactic Season on every server, as I have been for multiple seasons now. It's really this is the perfect time to start going on. And again, I'm gonna have a 5-week period of time where I'm not in the game at all. I still plan on doing it. I do not think it's going to be even that much of a stretch, because all I have to do is make sure that when I'm in town, I log in every day. I do, what I need to do to get the 25,000 for that day, thus roughly 200,000 for the week. So that was one weekly and a bunch of dailies done no matter what. And then I usually pick a few low-hanging fruit ones. I go out and do them on every server. It's really not that hard to do solo stuff, even for the European servers in the North America or vice versa. There is some lag, but it's quite you can deal with it quite well. It's really not that difficult to do. Anyway, so yeah, and I'm planning to get to level 100 even with 5 full weeks being completely out of the game for sure.
You are a machine.
So the new weapons, we've already kind of talked about this in the Mind Trap, but yes, so there's the tech fragments, 750 in total of those, 2,000 cartel coins, which is really always fun. A lot of those are sort of backloaded, so you really do need to get all the way through to get the 2,000 cartel coins, but you start to get them kind of right away. So even if you only do it a little bit, you'll still get to cartel coins pretty quickly. The Zerka experimental comment enhancers are kind of fun. That's the little thing that gives you a little boost, the little random boost in the Uprisings. As it turns out,
are those reusable, Chill?
No, they go away when you use them, but you also get them from boss drops inside the Uprising. So really, they're pretty easy to come by. As a reward, this is, it just means that the first time you go into one, you can have one rolling already. After that, if it's the same character, you should be fine to just, you probably already have 2 from the last time you did one or something like that. So,
all right.
Yeah. There'll be a total of 5 ultimate packs as well. Those are really fun to open, and as well as a bunch of bronze, silver, and even gold deco crates, as well as some mount crates and armor crates and all that good stuff. There's full armor sets. There's the Coruscanti cruiser mount and the Drum & Koss one as well. Very
Those
cool.
are great.
Yeah, sort of like old style, like Cadillac feels like, something like that.
Yeah, it does.
There's some creature mounts, the Tifloractyl, which is sort of interesting. I looked it up. There's not, at least as of a week ago when the season dropped, there was not a Wikipedia page on it, which is rare. It's apparently, but in the game it says that they're like a variation on a Varactyl, and so yeah,
dovetailed.
And interestingly, like they're similar, but they're subtly different. Like if you look at them, they hang a little lower to the ground, like their bellies are almost touching. Their knees kind of go above their backs because of it. The animations are a little different, and it's kind of cool looking. It's a little more sinewy and a little more lizardy, I'd say. Like the Varactyls, because they come from episode 2 and so on. But they have a very sort of like almost mammalian rather style of like how their hips work and stuff like that. Like they're not super lizardy. They're lizardy in the fact that they have scales and that sort of thing. But in sort of like how their body is sort of set up, it's not. It's sort of lizardy, but sort of mammalian almost. These are a little lower to the ground. The leg knees, knees or elbows, whatever you want to call them, kind of come up higher. And they look a little, because of that, it's subtle, but it makes it a little more lizardy. It's kind of cool, I think. Anyway, I don't know why.
Don't forget.
Yeah. And there's a couple of pets too. Go ahead.
Don't forget that there are 2 extra lizard mounts that you can buy at the Galactic Seasonings vendor for Galactic Seasoning points. They're just kind of different colors, but they're basically the same mounts. So don't forget to get those, kids.
Yep. There's also the thigh-high boots, which they have some sort of like leathery straps around them, so they kind of die a little weird, but they are some of the only boots that go above the knee. They're basically like the Satil Shan boots, except they don't have like the armor on the outside. They're just cloth all the way up. Except, like I said, except for those like leathery strap things that sort of so if you dye it, it ends up looking like it has big wide brown stripes through them. It's a little hard to dye them because of that, but other than that, they look good. The privateer hats are actually pretty cool. They based it on some of the stuff from Skeleton Crew. There's a version where it's like, and they're sort of like a big techno hat in sort of a triangle, sort of vaguely tricorn style hat. And there's one version that shows your face, has like a little eye patch over it. And then there's the other one that has like the full sort of like full face mask, but it still has like the tricorn bit. That one looks really cool. I really like that version.
Yeah, I like that one too.
That would look good for like a warrior or maybe some sort of bounty hunter as well. Very cool stuff. All right. Let's see. And the Dantooine Spring Abundance Festival has returned. There's a bunch of new stuff. Tons of new mini pets, especially. A lot of new decos as well. Title of Crop Destroyer or Humble Farmhand. Titles are always kind of fun.
Crop Destroyer.
Legacy title, One Who Reaps or One Who Sows, which I kind of love how they have both of those. A lot of stuff there. And let's see, and that always goes for, does it say, let me see, through April 8th. So it's going for, what is that, 3 more weeks? Something like that. Yeah, good stuff. So lots of stuff to do with that event. Oh, and I like the Swampland Zackegg mini pet too. It's sort of like half lizard, half turtle, has like sort of a shell on its back.
Yeah, I got that one.
Not all the way up.
That.
That's a cool one.
He looks really cool.
I like that one. Yeah, good stuff. And also the ones, the cartel market stuff that they talked about in the dev stream a few weeks ago are now out, including like the bundles for the Drum & Koss or Coruscant themed utility bundles, and the Bubblehead outfit, Peerless Explorer. I've seen some excellent Buzz Lightyear cosplays.
Buzz Lightyear, yes, I've seen some great
some
Buzz
really
Lightyear
good Buzz Lightyear cosplays out there because of that. And they
It's
actually
like something
they
that
don't use
the
the
Jackass
outfit.
crew would fart into.
Yeah, the one I saw didn't use this outfit. You could actually use this out for Buzz Lightyear, and it'd be semi-reasonable. But they actually found one that fits even better, and they just used the bubble helmet part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really
That's
good.
perfect.
Yeah. All right, and let's see. Finally, a couple other quick things here. So Speeder Piloting 6 Speed Boost is now available, and I did a little bunch of testing on this. So it costs 3.6 million credits. I don't know what legacy level you have to be because I'm already level 50, and I just wasn't able to figure it out, actually.
Yeah.
But your character has to be level 50. So the 35 for level 5, and so the speed boost will be not from 35, but all the way up to level 50. I did some tests. It does not boost your base speed without the speed boost.
Yes.
You're not going from 130 to 140 to 150 and now to 160 base speed. No, it still seems to be the same base speed.
Yeah.
And to be fair, the description doesn't say that it increases the base speed. It just says that it's a speed boost. It's a 2-second, and it's like the Starbolt, where it brings up the little button, and you push it, and you can keybind it as well. And also, I tested it with the Firebolt speeder, and so if you use the Firebolt, which automatically has a speed boost as soon as you mount up on it, then it does cause the cooldown on Piloting 6 to pop, so you can't get 2 seconds of boost on a Firebolt, swap to another normal speeder, and immediately reboost. That can't happen.
Boo!
I tested it, but it's not possible. Yep. But yes, so it's like 3.6 million credits per character. That's pretty decent. I was actually wondering if it would be a little higher because I kind of figured they might make it into, sort of a credit sink. And of course, that is a credit sink to some degree.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, maybe this is going to really bump up, to like 5 or 10 million. And it's not. 3.6 million, which is still pretty significant amount of credits. Yeah. It's enough to make me hesitate. I'm probably on characters that can get away with the Firebolt or the Starbolt. I will probably use those, and then I'll save, and I'll actually spend the 3.6 million credits on characters where I just don't feel those two, speeders actually are going to work for them.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and I did try them on creature mounts and a couple of other type of mounts. There's the Firebolt has the big rum when you use the speed boost. There's no sound change on other speeders. It doesn't give a room or anything like that, and the critters don't make any noises either. And there's no real huge change to the animation of the creature's movement. It's just a little bit faster. So yeah, there you go. Finally in the news, grats to Ashley Rule, the narrative director on SWTOR. She had a talk at Game Developers Conference, GDC 2025, and it was called Labor of Love, the Story of Date Night in SWTOR. And as of just before the show, I wasn't unable to find the video to watch or to share or to talk about or anything like that. It may or may not become available later. There seemed to be quite a number of GDC talks on YouTube, but I don't know at what cadence they come out, like if they come out, a day later or a week later, or just they dribble them out, or maybe this one won't come out at all. I don't know. If it does, I will definitely be watching it. But yeah, congrats to Ashley Rule.
Yeah, That's awesome.
And let's see. So force feedback. We read out your tweets and emails. And we used to say that. Now we're just going to do the emails that have come in. So first is from DL Smoothwolf. Just want to say thank you, Chill and Kitty, as well as the previous hosts of OotiniCast for an awesome and wonderful podcast. I guess my final tip of the Ootini is to say good luck and best wishes to you both and everyone who has or been given the chance to be a guest speaker for your podcast. Thank you, DL. Appreciate it. And from Dekion, our intrepid co-guild leader, along with Fiona. Over a decade ago, I stumbled upon this podcast that seemed inviting and fun to listen to. Chill would kick things off with a quirky Star Wars reference, and Tio always greeted us with his awesome, "Hey guys," in his unmistakable Aussie accent. After listening to a few episodes, I was totally hooked. The hosts and guests were having such a great time discussing the latest news about Star Wars The Old Republic. My favorite OotiniCast memory was episode 306, a live episode recorded at the Ootini Cantina during Star Wars Celebration in Orlando. Yeah, and of course that was one of my favorites too. There I was able to meet Tio and Chill and several show regular guests like Kuze and Bill. Take a deep breath and feel proud of what you've accomplished. Not only has OotiniCast been running since beta, it's a steady heartbeat for our community, and OotiniCast will be missed, but will always be remembered. May the force be with you always, Dekion. So thank you, Dek. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so since we're at the last OotiniCast, is there anything else you want to say, Doc?
I was there. I don't remember if I got on mic or if I just sat there and watched, but that was a really cool night.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree with Decky on there. It's so cool to think about how it's 2025 and this game came out when I was just starting my doc program. So for me, this game's existence is parallel with all kinds of life transformations and challenges.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm sure both of you can relate to that too, that
of course,
in order for a show to last 15 plus years, you are Chill. You are definitely a different version of Chill than the one that decided to talk about this upstart game that's going to be World of Warcraft for Star Wars fans. And I just think that it's really neat tonight to be hit from all angles, from all these old friends, from a game that we've all spent years of our lives inside. And I know that that's true because if you hit /play, it tells you that even 7 years ago or whatever, when I did that, it told me I'd been playing for 430 days of my life. And I was like, wait. That's an entire year of time. Are you sure? Yeah, so I'm sure some of us have a lot of playtime in this galaxy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the relationships are real. The challenges inspire us to think. One of my favorite things as a game player is any game that has the nerve to put a morality system on our in-game decisions. And Star Wars is fantastic for this because built in from A New Hope is the conversation about using the Force or using the dark side. And then as more movies come out, we have the light side or the dark side. But that original idea is the Force is pure, the dark side is the corruptible part of it. And when we make our choices, kind of like our choice to sign in, right? How much of our life is going to be bound to this game. And I don't think that saying a high quantity or a low quantity means good or bad. I think it all just gives us a chance to explore in a world without judgment and contingencies on how we choose. What do we truly want to be? Right? Do you want to be a Jedi or a Sith? Do you want to be a power tech? Do you want to be an agent or a scoundrel? And I just think that this game is amazing for giving us all the chance to choose our own path. And I'm so happy to see all the little comments and all the names of people that I know but I haven't talked to in quite a long time. And I'm just getting hit from all sides by all these feelings tonight. It's so cool to be here.
Me too.
I'm going to miss the show a lot. I mean, just knowing that it's not there is going to be a change.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And Kitty?
I don't know what to say. I too am feeling all the feelings from all the angles. And it is sad, but it's also getting to experience it the way that I did, from being somebody that just played the game, that listened to podcasts about the game that I played, to then all of a sudden being in the community, and then all of a sudden being on the podcast. So much has changed. It's been such a large part of my life. And like I said, getting to know you better, getting, us becoming friends in real life, and the community it's sad, but again, it's, that's part of life.
Right.
Instead of being sad that it's over, I'm just happy that it happened. And then extra happy that, I got to be part of it. Thanks, Jill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chill.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, guys. Getting a little choked up here.
That's right. That's what we wanted to do to you. Take that, Chill.
That's right. We had this two-pronged attack
Well,
to
it
get you to
worked.
cry.
We do not fear the emotional side as you do.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but unfortunately, I have to talk, so it makes it harder. Right. So some of this, I wrote down a few notes that'll probably help, so I'm not completely, going crazy here. We talked about some of the top of the stream. Like the Utini Nice Utini Rage will continue, and so special thanks to Dekion and Fiona as the leaders, but also Ducky, who's been a big part of the guild, Cass,
Yes, Ducky.
and the other leaders and members of our community.
Cass.
Just as an FYI, the Patreon for OotiniCast will be shut down. Thank you to everyone who donated over the years, helped keep the lights on here. OotiniCast.com will be kept alive, and the episodes will be continuing to be live as well. We don't have a timeline for when that might change, but we hope that it'll remain at least a couple of years. Yeah, thanks to Tio. Sorry. Just need a sec.
Chill. I think this is the content, Chill, and you are awesome.
Yes, you're the best.
Yeah, to borrow a quote from Dolly Parton, laughing through tears is my favorite emotion. Anyway. Thanks to Tio, co-founder and co-host for years on the OotiniCast, and also since then has been our tech helper behind the scenes, putting up the episodes after I edit them, and also updating OotiniCast.com as needed, among many other things. And we have no plans at all to remove the OotiniCast YouTube channel, as I mentioned earlier, which has regular episodes as far back as episode 368, plus a handful of earlier and special episodes. And assuming nothing happens to YouTube, there should be no reason to get rid of that channel, so that should be up for a good long time. Thank you to Dr. Swotor for his invaluable help as guest and especially as co-host. And he's affected the OotiniCast ever since his first appearance. Sorry. Whew. It's way harder than I thought. Ever since his first appearance. And the Mind Trap poll particularly started out his baby. And thank you to KittyKissz, who's a wonderful co-host whose skill at banter and friendship has made the last few years of OotiniCast a real pleasure. And thanks to our listeners, without whom there wouldn't have been a show at all. We always appreciate all the little times, online, offline, in-game, and even in real life occasionally, where you've let us know that you have enjoyed the show. I'll probably put it up as like some sort of notice on somewhere on social media or something, but I did go through the all the OotiniCasts on YouTube especially, and some of the ones that are probably worth checking out even now. A lot of them, of course, are time capsules of their time, but episode 382 was an interview with Charles Boyd and Eric Musco. Episode 391 was the final episode with Dr. Gameology as the regular co-host, and first episode of KittyKissz as the regular co-host. 400 was a big episode with the return of Dr. Gameology, plus Deck and Fee, and also Sith Lord Brit. Episode 405 was an interview with Sorturista. Episode 465 was the interview with Tasia Valenza, voice of Cleo. And then recently, episode 500 was another interview with Eric Musco and Keith Kanek. And thanks to the guests, too. Anyway, it's been a real pleasure. And I appreciate everyone's support over the years. And I'll say hi to Tio for y'all. And thanks for listening. I will probably give out some codes at the end. If anyone's missing any of the codes, even if you don't get it here today, I'm also going to be transferring the codes. We got permission to transfer the OotiniCast codes over to KittyKissz so he can give them out on his stream. So, if you're missing the Mandalorian jetpack or one of the, the Volptilla or one of the other ones, just, we will they'll be available. And that's a show. Excuse me. This part is still relevant. If you'd like to play with us in the Ootini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Steel Sean server, or in our Ootini Rage on the Empire side, that's okay. /C join Ootini and let us know you're a fan of the show. Let's see. Our theme song has been Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby, and thank you to the chat room. And thanks to Dr. Gameology. And thanks, Kitty.
Thank you, Chill.
You are amazing, Chill. I'm so glad that we got to meet, and the amount of ways you've impacted me as a listener and as a co-host, and just as a friend. Like, there isn't the same version of me at all without crossing paths with you. And I think all of us listening and watching and sitting here feel exactly the same way. So I am speaking for the entire galaxy here. I will happily do it because I'm right. You're awesome, Chill.
Yeah, appreciate it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to keep the stream going because I want to check in with this and see if anyone needs a code real quick. But then we'll do a raid. Let me go ahead and stop the recording, though.